Hello everybody, and a warm welcome to Berringer on this Sunday morning. And I have a general knowledge update for you. So it's a little bit of everything today, and without further ado I will take you to the first portion of the update. And the first part of the update is the control panel. It's a very mundane part of the update, I guess. But nonetheless it's something that's been done. It's been completely rewired, and if you remember it from before, it was just a piece of plain MDF board. I've since bought a vinyl roll, and basically I've covered the MDF board in this vinyl roll, and then I've just redone the switches. They just had some labelling which kept on peeling off, and it didn't look very professional or tidy, I should say. So what I've done is I've basically covered it in vinyl. The Welcome to Berringer sign actually was the same sign as I printed off for the one that you saw by the station building, which is generally my intro sort of shot. But when I did this one I did it in a few sizes, and this one came out slightly too big for where I wanted it to go, but I'd kept it nonetheless. So I just thought I'd just put that there, and a picture of a Class 50 to the top left, which I'm a huge fan of the Class 50. Also, I've added a couple of switches to the black switches that were underneath. All the black switches underneath are all for isolating points. The two switches that are white on the top left, one of them is for the underground lighting, which is for the platform 4 and 5, which basically I don't know, I can't remember if I showed you. It was a little black box, and basically what I've done is I've cut basically that black box off, which is the power box, which is the batteries, and basically rewired it all the way down to this control panel via another switch. So basically it all works. The white switch on the right hand side is for the fiddle yard lighting. Now that's connected to the wiring over at the far side of the fiddle yard, but it isn't actually wired up to any lighting as yet. That's another job that I have to do, but the wiring is actually there between the fiddle yard and the switch. I just need to wire it from the wiring to the actual lighting itself. So but that in itself, this job in itself has taken some time, as you can imagine. I mean, wiring is a pretty time consuming job, and those of you who know me well, it's not one of my favourite jobs, let's just say. So I was quite glad to get this done, but nonetheless it's a vast improvement in the way it looks and its appearance, and all the labelling was done in the same sort of lettering through the computer, and then just printed it all off and stuck it on, so it looks a bit more tidy, more professional. So it was a job well worth doing, if not time consuming, and basically not one of my favourites. Okay, so one of the other big tasks I've been up to this weekend is, some of you may notice already, I've actually put up a brand new back scene on here, which is just clouds. It's a Gauge Master back scene, and that's basically what I've been doing this weekend. It's another big task. It's just to give the town scene a bit more life, in terms of make it just look a bit more kind of realistic in its appearance. So if I just sort of look at it like that, I mean, without seeing the sort of wall at the back there, which you can see if you just sort of nudge it down, you can see how much more realistic it looks, and so I'm a lot more happier with that. Also, I've been doing a lot more scratch building, and as we pan round to the right, you see that I've actually got a new building in the background. This is the first time I'm actually looking at it from the viewfinder actually, and basically B&Q has now gone. It will be rebuilt because it will be moved on to the extension of the town scene. It's just that I decided that I wanted to build some more shops and things around here. So currently it looks like this, and I'm really pleased actually. The shop on the left, which is the red one, that's going to be basically they're both going to be 80s 80 shops. The one on the left is going to be like Quick Save, and the one on the right is going to be Blockbuster Video. So those of you familiar with the 80s may very well remember those stores. I mean, the building's nowhere near complete. It's completely scratch built from card, so I'm in the process of doing that. So there's no, it isn't anywhere by any means stretched finished. Now one of the big reasons why I wanted to change B&Q is because I think I did say before, if I just take the camera off the tripod, I'll just give you a view of how it looks now. And also I quite like this little thing that I did, this little mini sort of cameo here. It's like the postman taking, well, he isn't there yet, but he hasn't got out of his van, but he's basically blocking the bus and the bus can't get into the bus bay properly. So that's one thing. But one of the big things that I had with B&Q, and I'll show you because this is it here. This is how it is. I've just taken it down. But I always felt that this was slightly out of scale, and if I just raise it up, you can see that it's slightly taller than the others, and then it's also slightly narrower. And the other thing is the back, as you can see, is actually quite wide compared to that. So I always felt that this building was slightly out of scale, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to rebuild it, which is why I'm going to, and that's going to end up going along here somewhere on this lifting up section. I've ballasted underneath as well, so that's now done. I'm just waiting for that to go off so I can then undo the top properly, because the top is just literally just resting on there for now. It's not actually glued down or nailed down or anything like that. I've now permanently positioned the webcam for the platform 4 and 5, and that's looking much better now as well, because you get a better view of it. So when I do some running sessions and things again, which hopefully won't be too long, hopefully we'll just get a better view. And also I've got an extension lead for mobile cam, so that means that can be roaming around further afield as well. So that's how it looks like for now. I think the back scenes made a huge difference, to be honest, and I'm very happy with it. And to be honest, I didn't really want to start. I think cloudy skies or skies just tends to be a nice easy option. I kind of feel like with this back scene here, it's nice, but then you always end up with this section here where you kind of wonder how you're going to blend it in. So I've got to figure out a way of blending that in, and it's the same at the other end. So it is nice to look at like that, but then trying to blend it in is going to be a bit of a problem. But we'll see how it goes. Apart from that, the station hasn't really been tackled or anything like that, because like I said, the majority of my time has been dealt with doing the back scene, the scratch building, and also the control panel. So thanks for watching. Feel free to comment and subscribe as always, and I will chat to you all soon when I have a further progress report.